Hello everybody. Today's stream will be a really quick one, maybe only 10 minutes or so, because it's just a little procedure on how to export your completed model into a format that the printer can read, in this case .stl, and then we will slice it or translating it into a code that the 3D printer can understand where to move and where to drop the heated filament, and how hot the temperature is going to be, and also how solid the print will be. Without further ado, we open the file that we created a few days ago. Here I made some adjustments so to ensure that the design looks a little more aesthetically appealing. Okay, now we have our model here. This is the top view, this is the front view, this is the right view. And what we would like to do is here, we click on File, Export to STL. And then we put our file here. You can rename it whatever you want, but just put it like this. And then if you have to change some parameters, but I don't think we need to change any parameters. A, B, C, Q. Okay. You can select some models that you can select some models and click selection only, so that only that one is going to be exported. Okay. Now we click Export STL. What we would like to do is now open the folder where we put our item, and we open the software Cura. It is a slicing software. Just as I have explained before, you slice the STL file so that it becomes understandable by the printer. Okay. Wait for it to load, and yeah. When you first open Cura, there will be a window where your printing box will appear here, and depending on when you first start it, you will be prompted to a wizard or to a setup, which will do the settings based on what printer you have at home, what 3D printer you have at home. For example, the wizard should look like this. Printer, okay, add printer, and then because most of 3D printers that we have are not connected to networks, maybe you could select from the drop-down list here and just proceed with add and maybe do some setup. Now we open our file. We see here the medical container.stl. Okay. Let's do some test runs. Okay. So here, the model looks a little smaller than we had instructed it to be. So what will we do here? We adjust the scale according to the scaling that we created. Here, the X is 20 millimeters, while we wanted it to be 1000. Okay. The completed file will look like this. A length of 10 centimeters, a width of 16 centimeters, and a height of 18 centimeters. It looks good. However, until we realize this thing is very big. If you would like to get it printed, actually, so you can make yourself a miniature. For example, returning to its small size again. And here we see we can click it to adjust the type of thread or the filament that we are using. For example, the material is PLA or polylactic acid. This is one of the safest and the most commonly used material in 3D printing. And then after you set up the material and also the nozzle size for Ender 3 Pro or Ender 3 or Ender 3 V2, the nozzle size is 0.5. And then you have here to the right side, you have the printing parameters. For example, the layer height. It will usually be in multiples of 0.04 or so. And let's see, there are some presets. For example, standard quality, dynamic, low, and super. But I will usually use 0.28 for general purposes. And then you have here a wall thickness. How many layers of wall will it print? Because the inside is usually going to be hollow. And then also you have thickness, infill density, material, and yeah, speed. The usual speed for Ender 3 is 50 for the print speed and the travel speed of 150. However, I have to reduce it by a little because I installed a direct drive upgrade. And then the printing temperature. The printing temperature for PLA is usually 200 for the print for the hot end, and for ABS, if you use ABS, it's around 240, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the build plate temperature. Why does the build plate have to be heated? We heat the build plate because it helps the printed material adhere to the surface. Okay, and then one more important thing is the orientation of your printing. We see here that it is pointed upright, which is the normal orientation. But what will happen if we print it sideways? what will happen if we print it sideways? The printer will have to print from here to here to here to here. Let me demonstrate. Now let's. Okay. The printer. Let's do some quick recap on what will happen if we make it this way. The printer will print from here to here, and it will be very difficult for the printer, and most likely the printing will fail because it has to connect this from this corner to that corner repeatedly. The printer cannot do that. So what we are doing, we have to review whether we really need to print in this orientation or we have to add support. For example, I am using the 3 support. There are 2 support structures in Cura. One is normal and the other is 3. The 3 support is usually for SLA printers, but Cura has adapted it for the FDM printers as well. What will happen now? Now we see that the printer also prints some additional structures which are loosely arranged, and these structures are called the support. We see that it extends until the end of each corners, or almost the end, to prevent it from failing. What we notice here is that the print will take longer and it will take more material. This is 10 at 11 grams. But what will happen if we change back the orientation to the normal? We see now the printer doesn't have to make much bridges because it will only move from here to here, here to here, here to here. Okay. Now we disable. What will happen if we use the support? The support will not print. So the lesson here is the support will only print on a specific overhang angle and the angles above that. Here we set the overhang angle is 50. That means nothing, no corners or no part in this object has an overhang angle of over 50 degrees. Now we see we can just omit the support in this case. So we uncheck it and then we slice it. Slice. After we slice, we can generate a file that the 3D printer can understand. It is called a G code. Okay, it will take 47 minutes, almost twice shorter time, and then it only takes 7 grams of material. Nicely done here. Only slight bit of material spent in the ABC. Okay, now we click save to disk, for example, and then we put it in desktop. We put out the name, for example, container, and then you click save. That file you transfer it to the memory card, and then after you transfer that file to the memory card, you put the memory card into the 3D printer. We will see how in the next video. Goodbye, and I hope you guys will have a nice day.